What's going on, good people? My name is Scott. Welcome back to Central Hub. Glad to have you join me today. So in this video, I'm changing things up. I have not done a video on my channel yet thus far on this type of content. This video is going to consist of tips and tricks for you when you're going out and going fragrance hunting at TjMaxx, Marshalls. Those are the two places that I went out to. So I hope you enjoy what you're going to be seeing today. Sit back, relax. I'll be right back. First stop was a local TjMaxx, and here's a case in the men's section. They've actually installed these the last couple weeks at TjMaxx, so I believe it's most likely it's to deter theft, because I've been to TjMaxx and Marshalls even as well, where, you know, there's been empty boxes on the shelves because, you know, the fragrances have been either stolen most likely. But they added these, and most of the higher end fragrances that they sell there are in these boxes or in these cases. So there's actually a Carolina Herrera Bad Boy. I actually bought that one the other day, and that one actually smells pretty good. So they have some Coach in there, Coach for men. They have a bunch of other fragrances. Here's a clearance section at Marshalls for the men's. And this is actually, the red tags are the clearance items. So when you go into Marshalls or TjMaxx, you're going to see these red tag items. Those are clearance items. I found a clone of, that one's called Monarch Red Tobacco Vanilla. And that one is a clone of Mancera Red Tobacco. So a lot of these loose bottles you're going to find at TJ's and these rack stores are going to be clones that you're going to find as of late. You just kind of have to look, and a lot of them do look like the originals. Like that one's Burberry Hero, so that's a clone of Burberry Hero. This is a Taxco, and that's a YSL Tuxedo clone. So those are higher end, at least Tuxedo clone. That one's actually pretty expensive, that YSL Tuxedo, and that's a clone of it. There's that Mancera Red Tobacco again clone, and there are different houses under umbrella under one really house. Here's some more clones. This is Mouge, a Jubilee, and this one is an Amouage Jubilee clone. And Amouages tend to be pretty expensive, and that's a clone of that, and it looks similar. The bottle looks similar to the original fragrance. So you kind of have to know what the original fragrance looks like to know what you're looking for with the clones, you know, because you might just look at it, you don't even know that it's a clone of a fragrance. But not every single one is a clone of a fragrance. But they've been popping up at the rack stores here for quite some time, these clones. And they're doing a really good job, these clone houses that are putting them out here at TjMaxx and Marshalls. Here is King Fabulous. And this is a Tom Ford clone, as you can probably guess from which clone that's from. Here is also, again, a Tuxedo clone from YSL. Taxco from Milestone Perfumes, $14.99. These are all under this one house called RVL Brands. Here's another one under RVL Brands, but this is a Tuscany leather. This is a Tom Ford Tuscan leather clone, $16.99. Pretty reasonable price for these. Here is also a Contra. Man, these are all under the same house pretty much. They just have different names, you know, under the main company. So that one was actually I believe that was a Gentleman, that one was Givenchy Gentleman EDP clone. This one here is Red Cherry, and you can tell what it's copying off of there. It's copying off of the Tom Ford fragrances, and that is a clone of Tom Ford Red Cherry. Well, I think it's called Dark Cherry, maybe, for, yeah, I believe it's called Dark Cherry for Tom Ford's fragrance. But here is the women's section. But you can, I mean, those are all unisex fragrances, the ones that I had shown there. They can be worn by men or women, but that was in the women's section. These associates, here's the women's section again. These associates who work at these stores do not always know which ones are women's, which ones are men's fragrances. Sometimes it's easy to tell when you look at a box, but sometimes it isn't. And they're scattered. I mean, you have to check both the men's and women's section for the fragrances because they're not always going to be just women's, just strictly women's in the women's section. You're going to find stuff that's unisex. You're going to find stuff that you're going to find men's cologne in there. There's a Tommy Hilfiger cologne. It's a men's cologne. So there's a perfect example of finding men's fragrances in the women's section. This is just another case in the women's section. Like I said, they've installed these cases the last few weeks. Like I said, probably to deter theft. But you actually have, there's a button that you press to you have to press a button for an associate to come over, and then they will take the fragrance out of there, one that you're looking at or possibly want to purchase, and they'll place it at the front desk at the registers. When you're ready to check out, you can grab it then. But here's some Coach women's fragrances that I'm seeing here. They put a good amount of fragrances in this case here. So, okay, this is another TjMaxx that I went to. And this one, they're all, I mean, some of them are going to have the same type of fragrances there, and some are going to vary. But most of the time, a lot of the fragrances are going to be the same, is what you find at another TjMaxx. But here's the loose bottles again. And I think I found some more clones here, actually, at this TjMaxx. And this one is, Ombre Sun. And I believe that's I'm trying to think, Dolce & Gabbana Ombre Sun. It's in their, I think, private collection. Here is Contra for Men Intense. This one is that Givenchy Gentleman EDP clone. And that one actually smells pretty good. I've never smelled the original EDP, but that one does smell nice, and I've heard that it smells really, really similar to the original. This is another one under clone. I'm not sure what clone that's of, but these are all under the same brand. They might have different names on these bottles, but they're really under one brand, and they're doing a really good job. And they're all pressurized atomizers. They have great atomizers on these fragrances. I mean, you're not going to find really better. I mean, they're like Dior type atomizers. Like you have Dior Homme and any Dior fragrances. Those atomizers are great, and they're pressurized, so you can put as much or as little on as you'd like, and you can put half a squirt. You don't have to put a whole thing on. So here's another one. Here, clone. This one is of Amouage, I think, Man Interlude. And Amouage is a higher-end designer fragrance company, so you know, they're having these on the cheap here at TjMaxx and Marshalls. This one here is a Tuscan. And there it is. There's the brand, RVL Brands. I don't know if you can see that, but that's the sticker that are on all the clones that I've seen at these stores. So they're really under one company. They're just on the bottles. They might have different brand names, but really they're under one company. They're, like I said, they all pressurized atomizers, and they're doing some great stuff. These fragrances they really smell good, and they smell better than their price tag that they're going for. Some more loose bottles here. A lot of them, more loose bottles than there are. Here's Parfums de Marly. This one, I have this one. This one's really good. This one is Exquisite Latin Royal Edition, and that one is really good, actually. I have not smelled the original. It's from Parfums de Marly Leyden. That's the original fragrance that's copying. And those are higher end fragrances, those Parfums de Marly fragrances. And that's going for $14.99. Or $16.99, something like that. That's a really great price. And they do smell of pretty good quality, actually, surprisingly. So here's another one. That one is, I think, an Armani Code clone. This is called Monarch. I'm not sure what this is a clone of. If any of you know, maybe you'd like to place a comment and let me know which clone that is of. Here's the women's section, but look, here's a Taxco. This is a YSL Tuxedo clone, and YSL Tuxedo is quite expensive. You know, it's not a cheap fragrance. So that is, I don't know if that was $14.99 or $6.99, but they're all around within $10 to $20. They're not any more than that. that you're finding these clones. And this is just the women's section. You just got to look around. I mean, you might find some men's fragrances in here, you may not. Usually you're going to find at least a couple, and sometimes you'll find more. So this is the clearance section at TjMaxx, and this is the women's clearance section. There's a whole lot of makeup, different beauty products, face products, hair products, but there's fragrances that are meshed in with this section. So the red tags here, those are clearance items. I have not seen a yellow tag yet. Those usually don't come out until really till the start of the new year. So we're in December here. By the time end of January, February rolls around, those are going to be items that they're going to be trying to clear out. So they're going to even discount those even steeper. And that's a pretty good deal if you could find those yellow tag items. Okay, now we're at Marshalls. And Marshalls is one and the same kind of company as TjMaxx. They're both under the same parent company. So TjMaxx and Marshalls are going to have the same type of products a lot of times, but you might see some varying types of products at both stores. But this is the men's section at Marshalls. Here is the women's section that I'm finding for fragrances at Marshalls. And there's clones in here as well. I think I found some more Tom Ford clones, Tuscany leather and an ombre leather. So those are clones of Tom Fords, and those are unisex fragrances, can be worn by men or women. And you know, look, this one is $16.99. You know, that's and like I said, they're all that I've tried so far are pretty good quality for what you're paying, and it could probably be, you know, twice the price in which they are, but they're selling them at a really reasonable, good price. But this is the women's section at Marshalls. There's that Coach women's, I think it was called Wild Rose. I believe I saw that at the TjMaxx as well. So, like I said, they have similarities. The TjMaxx and Marshalls are going to have some of the same products, and other times they might have varying products. Well, there you go. I hope you enjoyed the content today. Again, my name is Scott. Thank you for joining Central Hub today. I greatly appreciate it. If you could drop a like, comment, subscribe, that'd be awesome. I'd really appreciate that. And if you'd like to see more of this content in the future, maybe drop a comment down below and let me know if you like this type of stuff. So I'd be more than willing to do more of this type of stuff with you guys. So thanks again for joining me on Central Hub. I'll see you in the next one.